Hello, welcome back. It is week 187 on the motherfucking pod. It's Out on That Line podcast. I'm Jeff with my co-host Alex and our now pretty frequent co-host Tanner. It's a joy to have you once again, Tanner. We're going to talk about Tyler Childers today, but first, we're going to talk about Tanner and his escapades this weekend, give him a chance to explain himself to a jury of his peers.
Well, I would presume that this has to do with the fish shows that I went to. Over the weekend, I went to 3 nights of fish at SPAC. I felt like this was going to happen coming in because on the heels of, I think it was the Johnny Blue Skies episode that we did last summer. I had to defend, hire a defense attorney who was also me. But no, I went to 3 nights at SPAC. It was amazing. The community around the band, which I'm very on the fringes of. I'm now at 7 shows. Sunday was my 7th. So I'm still a relative rookie. But the community that's notoriously picky has said like that weekend was like the best weekend since COVID. They call it Fish 4.0.
Okay.
In the COVID and the after. The Sunday night show right now on like the fish ranking website fans vote on is at number 2 all time. So it was pretty crazy.
Well,
Alex, I know I'm going to get some heat here. Let's go.
So I waited for my customary asking you how you're doing this week because I wanted you to hear that first. So Alex, how you doing this week?
I tell you what, man, some of that information there is enough to drive a man to drink. I tell you what, Jeff, and I'll tell you what, this ain't no twisted tea. This is liquid death iced tea. That's right, folks. I've flipped all the way around. I used to mercilessly make fun of this beverage. I ain't gonna do that no more. It's delicious iced tea. Tanner and I were drinking them by the case. Diabetes, I wipe my fucking dick on it. This is liquid death, baby. Murder your thirst. I'm doing well.
As unhinged as they get as far as the intros go.
I would very much like to potentially achieve a sponsorship by them. Who knows if it gets me free tea and Tanner some free tea.
The free tea is amazing. I was drinking the tea all weekend. Tremendous tea.
The tea was great.
Some would say the best tea.
Best tea, low tea, high tea, a lot of tea.
So I'm gonna in general leave the fish discourse, the fish course, if you will. I'm going to leave that alone for now. I think this is one of those times where we've tried the intervention, Alex. We've tried to talk some sense into the boy. Okay. I think it's time he needs to hit rock bottom. He needs to be spun out on 18 hits of nitrous in a Wegmans parking lot. The show was nowhere near that Wegmans. And the show hasn't even started yet. He needs to be there and sunburned. He needs to be there before I think there's anything that can fix this at this point.
Even rainbows have shadows, gentlemen. Even rainbows have shadows.
It was pretty tame on the balloon front. Maybe I wasn't in like the scumbag lot. I went to the lot every night, and I'll tell you, I ate some lot food, drank some lot beers, maybe smoked a lot cigarette. Who knows?
Hey, man, good gas ain't cheap, but cheap gas ain't good. If it ain't bigger than your head, it won't put you to bed. You know what I'm saying?
Minimal balloons. More cheeseburgers and quesadillas than balloons on the lot.
Yeah, fresh quesadilla.
This is maybe the most classic Tanner answer I've ever heard in my life. Less balloons, more cheeseburgers.
Super depressing. The last night I wanted a smash burger and the place closed down, and then we went to a different burger place, and Brandon's buddy was like, who's a fish veteran, his friend Warren was like, I don't have confidence in this place. And wouldn't you know it, as I was ordering, the police came by and said, everybody shut down, it's done, it's over. And then we got our order in, and then I watched one of our burgers fall off the grill when the grill was being, and other burgers were getting taken off, and they gave us our money back. But Brandon still got his hot dog and wouldn't fucking stop talking about it. It's life on the lot, baby. It gets rough and tumble.
Life on the lot. God, that sounds like nothing I want to ever experience. So what do you say we talk a little bit, maybe a lot of bit, about the new Tyler Childers album, Snipe Hunter? So I know I've always been, obviously, big Tyler Childers guy. We've talked about him extensively on the podcast. So as far as that goes, I know Alex has heard a ton. I'm assuming, Tanner, you're kind of on that level too.
Yeah, I kind of later to the game, I think, but I've got the live vinyl,
the Red Barn Radio.
Yes, Red Barn Radio. Yeah. Thank you. I've got Purgatory, I've got Country Squire, I've got the Hounds box set, and I have Rustin' in the Rain, and I pre-ordered this one. So I'm in pretty deep with Timmy Ty.
Yeah, I think that's all of them, right? Maybe Long Violent History.
That's the one that correct. That's the one that I'm lacking.
Yeah.
Yes.
And technically, what is the first one? Bottles and Bibles, like 2011, I think. But
yes, you're right.
I was like, is that pressed?
I think so.
Oh, that I know.
Yeah, I think it at least got a repress. Yeah, he's prolific because he hasn't really. I mean, Bottles and Bibles came out a while ago, but as far as the last 5 years or so, he's got this is his third album in the last 5 years. Like that doesn't really happen a lot.
Yeah, and Purgatory came out in 2017.
Yeah, and then Country Squire was 2 years later, I think.
Yep.
And then so the last 5 years, the rest of them have come out. So, he's been fairly prolific. I think he's one of the type of people like a Sturgill, where I think we always, whenever we mention one, we mention the other. That goes outside of like what you'd consider a norm for country music. I think Sturgill certainly steps outside of that a lot more, especially with something like Sound and Fury. But this album in particular is a very unique album in his discography. I think you've got a couple spots here like Oneida, I think is how you say it, and Nose on the Grindstone that fans have been familiar with for a long time because they've existed for basically as long as he's been kind of out and famous. But the rest of them, and the album was produced by Rick Rubin, I think his fingerprints are kind of all over this. And I think in a lot of spots in a great way. In some spots, I think some people are really questioning some of the choices there. It's hard for me to really criticize it that heavily because it wasn't anything I hated, but there was some stuff that I really thought was pretty incredible on this album. And then I think even if it was only average, and I think there's a lot of people saying that it's like some of the stuff was just could have been on the cutting room floor for sure. And I would tend to agree with that. I think it's not quite up to the standard of the rest of the album, and certainly not up to the standard of like the rest of what he's released thus far in his career. I think we got a taste of a little bit of this on the what is the Joyful Noise version of Can I Take My Hounds to Heaven, of that that triple album, because Joyful Noise was one where all the songs were like, you did like the chopped and screwed stuff on things, right? Because it was Jubilee, the Hallelujah. And then I think Joyful Noise was where it he got crazy, he got weird with it. I found that there was kind of a lot of, not as heavy as he went into on that, but a lot of that sort of mentality, I think, that went into the writing of a lot of these songs.
I will co-sign what you just said and sum it up the best way I know how. This is B+ content from Tyler Childers, and Rick Rubin gets a D. Mm-hmm. I think that there are a lot of people, the scuttlebutt online, it is like somewhat divisive, but the people who are into it are like, best thing since Purgatory. And Rustin' in the Rain was kind of a letdown, and nobody talks about Can I Take My Hounds to Heaven. It's weird. There's a weird subset of the Tyler Childers discourse, and I'm trying to pin these people down, who they are, what their profile is, where do you fall on Sturgill? Where do you fall on Zach Bryan? The way certain people talk about it, you can tell it's like country girlies who found their way to a nice redheaded stranger.
Yeah.
And then you can hear people who are like, no, I knew him back like the Food Stamps Band, and been on this ride with him since the beginning. And it's I can talk about the music kind of extemporaneously.
Mhm.
I think there's a kind of a difference between these people and like where they go in their fandom, because I think it's weird that people would not mention Hounds or would not give Rustin in the Rain its due either. That is
Mhm.
a short, high energy, fun album with a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
great songs on it. This one has some really good songs. This one has some clunkers that we'll get into. I think attribute. I'm like thumbs in the middle on this one, and I put all of that on Rick Rubin. If Sturgill
Mhm.
Simpson had produced this, I think
Or
it's
Dave Cobb. You know,
yeah.
there's like so many like good country producers that I think even he should have just produced it himself.
Yes, Rick Rubin, I'm sorry. I know he's worked with
Yeah.
country acts, but I don't think he gets country music. What he did here, some of the choices that he made felt gimmicky. It felt like taking like Appalachia and kind of making a gimmick out of the sound, which is unfortunate. And so then you get stuff like you filter his voice for a tin
Mhm.
can, like we're doing an old timey biscuit flour ad. Like it's you don't need that gimmick. What he sings about, the way he sings about it, the way he writes, goddamn dog going crazy up there. The way that he writes, his style, his themes, his emotional pulls on these things are very specific. Why are you making them sound fucking weird and goofy with all
Mhm.
these weird filters and compressions that they do on his voice? So, like, bizarre production choices here that his past collaborators haven't done. He would have been better off without Rick Rubin doing him like this. It was a weird direction to push him.
Yeah, I think it gets at certain points it gets gimmicky. The production elements that are added in, and you both mentioned like it'd be better if Sturgill did or if Tyler himself, excuse me, self-produced it. This was his first non-self-produced since 2019 Country Squire,
Mhm.
which was Sturgill and David Ferguson. And Sturgill did Purgatory before that. I the thing is, it sounds like the actual sound of the album, like it like sounds like cool and like Rick Rubin like, but that's not what this is. This
Mhm.
isn't like. I have a similar thing when Rick started working with the Avett Brothers. That's kind of when the wheels started to come off,
Mhm.
and I'm kind of going right through that again with this one. Like, you love the fact that he's getting the attention of big time producers and like a big thrust behind the album.
Mhm.
But there's a certain point for me on this album where it just like kind of goes south and then it never comes back up.
Yes.
Um,
And not to
and
cut you
it's
off, but
yeah,
the Rick Rubin of it all, like it's making songs again that would otherwise be good, would be decent, would be great. It's doing these really weird, unnecessary production things with it, and I'm just not sure. Like it's great that Rick Rubin would give Tyler Childers his flowers and his attention, but it's not a good fit. And I'm glad you brought up the Avits thing because it was a gradual kind of a decline, honestly. Like you and I love Avits, but like after a certain point, it really all kind of starts to trend downwards. And those are the ones that he did The Carpenter, he did I Am Loving You. That's great. But then all the stuff that we got after, it just like you're pushing them in a direction that I don't think they should go or
Mhm.
necessarily like want to go because it's the Americana thing. I think Rick Rubin's understanding of country and all these other folk, whatever, is Americana. I think that's his understanding of it. And it just doesn't work because all these elements are at odds. When you got Tyler Childers singing like this through a compressor, but then you have like loud and clear drums and guitar and stuff, it sounds off. The whole thing doesn't go
Mhm.
through a filter. It's not like some of the stuff we heard on Passage du Désir with Johnny Blue Skies. Like
Mhm.
it all fit together. This was a Rick Rubin mishmash. I hate when he does it. You can tell when he does it, and it ruined a lot of this stuff, quite frankly.
So I think the idea for him was to kind of like rock it up a little bit.
Which is great.
You know what I mean? Like, and I can see where the value of that would be because I think Tyler Childers, if he decided to do a straight rock album, could probably do something. I doubt it would sound like Sound and Fury, but I think I'd be equally as interested in it.
100%.
I think he's capable of that, but I think if you were going to do that, then do that. Then go full on into it. Make it sound like a Leonard Skinner album. You know what I mean? Like it's like get like the lyrical content in this would have fit like kind of a loud, brash rock and roll sound so much better than what they chose to do. Because a lot of it, I felt like in the lyrical content, at least, because that was the only thing I think he really had full control over in this thing. A lot of that, I was like, this is classic, like Tyler Childers, like tongue in cheek, like really clever, funny songwriting. And he's also able to reach down into a very like emotional place and explain those kind of feelings in a very real way. I think Bitin' List is a great song on this album. I think that one is because it doesn't have too much of that like intentional grit to it. You know what I mean? It's a cleaner version of everything. There's a few things, like Eatin' Big Time I thought was pretty good. Onita, like that was pretty much clean, but it's like once you get, especially towards the back half of the album, like Poachers, like Snipe Hunt, like Dirty Hot Trill. I mean, while I can appreciate the attempt to like do something different, and especially with a song like Dirty Hot Trill, it's like got that kind of swampy, little bit kind of dirty feel. Maybe that kind of grit works better on a song like that, but it's just, I feel like he's never needed that sort of thing before to be one of the most engaging like country or folk artists or whatever, whatever category you want to say he's in. He never needed any of that before to be one of the most engaging people in his genre. And I think there was a disservice done by having, there's plenty of Rick Rubin albums I love. Like Jay-Z's Black Album was Rick Rubin. Like Beastie Boys' License to Ill was Rick Rubin. Johnny Cash, American 4, The Man Comes Around was Rick Rubin. There's a lot of things he's done in the past. I'm sure you guys.
System of a Down. We love the system.
Yeah, I mean, like
yes.
there's so many things he's done where it's like he was a hugely positive influence on the whole thing.
100%.
But equally, there's some times where he's that much of a detriment. It's like not an even line for him. It's either up here or way down here.
Well, I really like how you said it, Jeff, because for me, it's like I love the album until I don't, and it kind of begins and ends at Down Under, and then everything after Down Under, like I'm looking at.
You didn't like Tirtha Yatra? Come on.
No, I did. I'm not a huge fan.
Oh, I thought
not a huge fan.
Yeah, loved it.
But if you look at the plays on Spotify, Watch Out is the 7th track. That's 816,000 right now. Down Under is 678. And then once you get past Down Under, the numbers just keep dropping.
Yeah.
And dropping and dropping. Again, I would say that I would rate the album as a whole probably a little bit higher than Alex did. I liked this until I didn't, and then it's still like okay. It's better than most of the shit that's out there. But he's a guy that you expect kind of like greatness from. So it's a tough, like it's a tough, like it would be like if Johnny Blue Skies came out with like, it's an album that's like half great and half kind of clunky. But thank God he didn't.
And I mean, there's probably more Johnny Blue Skies to come, so he's got a shot. He's let Rick Rubin get in there.
I'm just saying specifically that person, but yeah.
And to be clear, it's a case of like, Rick Rubin doesn't suck. I think he's, everything Jeff said is true. I just think he's a bad fit for this project. I think he's a bad fit for Tyler. Again, in my mind, he's never said this. It's just how I feel. But again, his understanding of country, folk, etc., things that he's not like locked in on, like Jay-Z, where he like, I know what to do with that. I think a lot of it just kind of like in his mind, his understanding becomes Americana. It all fits under Americana. And Tyler Childers has famously said, Americana's not a fucking thing. So that to me feels like a bit of a clunky fit. But credit where credit is due. Obviously, like we think Tyler Childers is amazing. He's a great singer-songwriter. Rick Rubin's an amazing, prolific, all-time producer. That's great. So Club on Tyler Childers where it's due. I'm with Tanner. Everything from Down Under. Down Under, I legitimately almost said out
Yeah, I know
loud.
where.
I almost turned into a 65-year-old man. I felt myself forming the words, "Shame on you, Tyler Childers. This is a bad song." That song is dog shit. It is dog shit. That song fucking sucks asshole. I do not know why he wrote it. I do not know why in his capacity as producer, Rick Rubin didn't go, nah, dog, we can't do that one. That is pretty fucking bad. That song is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's baffling. It almost feels like a joke. It has to be a joke. It's that bad.
I think it kind of is a joke, and also we talked a little bit about like the blowback, the pushback from like the Childers Lifetime fans. You know, why is he working with Rick Rubin? Why are these songs sounding all filtered? I read somewhere why does everything sound underwater?
Yeah.
Which I heard at times.
Yeah.
But like he puts out a song like Down Under, but he still hasn't released a studio version of something like Her in the Banks, which friend of the pod Brandon loves that song. We listened to it coming back from the Fish Weekend. And I was like, how have I never like heard this? Like it wasn't on Spotify for a while, and now it is, but it's like a mini podcast episode with like a vocal, like he like talks at the beginning with a story, and then he plays the song, and then he starts playing a different song and then just talks over it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very strange experience. I didn't know what the hell was going on. But that's like a fantastic song. And again, we get Anita and we get Nose in the Grindstone out of this, which is great. But like his back catalog still has stuff to pull from.
And Nose on the Grindstone has already been released. Like that live on Red Barn Radio. Like it,
yes.
I mean, it's I guess a live album or whatever, but
he redid a couple off of that on like Country Fire too. You know what I mean? But he's talking about koalas and like their STDs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my brother, you have written some of like your music makes me cry when it's just you and your guitar.
My wedding
and
song.
now you're fucking
my first dance at my wedding.
Yeah.
And I cried when that happened too. And now I'm listening to sing about fucking koala STDs.
See, I love that he wrote my wedding song and he wrote koalas having STDs. Same guy.
I don't know. Listen, you get something like the Biting List, and it's funny. It's very dumb. It's very dumb. It's very dumb idea. It's unsubtle. It's clunky, but I love how direct it's like, I just don't like you. Mm-hmm. And the idea of like, if I get rabies, you're the first person I bite. Like, you think about it, like the maddest you've ever been and the most ridiculous shit you've said when you're mad. Like, I remember my grandmother saying like, may she break both her feet and get hemorrhoids so she can't sit or stand. Like, she would just like come up with these elaborate fantasies about like how she'd murder people. So it's like, we've all had the like cringe rage outburst, and he kind of turned one of those into a song, and it's very funny for as like on the nose it is. Mm-hmm. It's very funny, and I enjoy the song quite a bit. That's how you do like a funny kind of ridiculous song on this album. You do the koala chlamydia one. It's like Ween wouldn't even touch that. You know what I mean? That's like, it's too verbose. It's too specific. It's too weird and dumb and doesn't go anywhere and has nothing to do with like, you write all these beautiful songs, Nose on the Grindstone, Onita, like, and then you put this song on the same album. It just kind of serves to make it feel like we threw everything at the wall to see what sticks, which is fine in a certain sense. Mm-hmm. But like, you look at the Doechii mixtape, that was throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, and it worked beautifully. And it was all weird, eclectic stuff because there was all like a standard of production and a standard of songwriting there. This felt like a first draft that he was like, fuck it, we got to pad the album, which is not the kind of artist that he is or the kind of artist that Rick Rubin is. It's an amateur hour bullshit thing to do that I don't think either of them would do, but it felt like that's what was going on. And I don't like that in a Tyler Childers album. That kind of makes me feel bad because I love him so much. So it's like hard to be like, damn, man, this is like the first time he's ever disappointed me, you know?
And I would say that musically, I enjoy the song. I enjoy like the hook, the riff, the chorus. It's just what he's choosing to fill it with. The whole first verse is about the koala bears fucking.
Well,
Yes.
that's what they do.
First verse. Second verse is all about kangaroos. We're just like writing like
Don't try to fight them.
don't know. They'd rather fight than watch you. Also, do not if a kangaroo is ever in the water, do not go in there because they will try to fucking drown you. And he doesn't even warn people about that. He just says they want to fight you. Like, no, they're actually a danger, and you should be bringing this up, not talking about koalas fucking.
I didn't know we were going to get to the point of accusing Tyler Childers of not making a PSA about avoiding kangaroo drowning.
Safety.
Yeah.
He started it. He wrote about the fucking koalas.
I guess he did. He fired the first shot. Yeah, you're right.
The koala STD thing is only relevant if you're a person who's planning on having sex with a koala. That must be who the song is for. Like,
and again, if you do it in like one like quick turn of phrase, just like one koala line, whatever. Like that, it's just like the literary device. But no, you're very focused on koalas because it's the whole first verse, and I'm sure it's a metaphor for something.
I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is.
I hope it is. I hope it is.
Hey, I would hope so too.
He probably just smoked a little bone, went to the zoo and just kind of watched the koalas for a while and was just chilling there and thought he might write about it. He was having a nice day, and you're sitting here pooping all over koalas and him. He was just trying to have a good day.
The bridge is these three lines: Vegemite and flying kites the opposite way, with crocodilian convicts and the criminally insane. Now, the last two lines I will agree with because Australia is full of convicts. That is an island. It's a lawless island. But like it's all too on the nose. He's not an on the nose guy. That's the whole point of this. The beauty of Childers is that he doesn't hit you over and over again on the head with a basic line, and then it happens in like the very end of the song. He just like keeps saying the same line over and over again.
It's as shocking as like if Tyler Childers decided to cover Flakes by Frank Zappa, but only the verse where he talks about flushing the tampon. And
steer into it, and he steers into it.
The plumber, he said, never flush a tampon. Like, hearing that out of Tyler Childers would be incredibly jarring. Hearing the koala song out of Frank Zappa is a Tuesday. But it speaks to, I think, the issue of like, okay, you're laying out this album, you're laying out the material for this album. One of the big pieces of praise that it's getting is like, oh, he could have done anything and he did it all. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great thing when it's well executed and well planned. This just felt like something went askew when they were looking at it. Like, how do you let that song, which I think is just like, and I'm not disgusted or offended. I just think like, because it is, I don't believe it is metaphor, and it is so on the nose and like dumb and not cleverly worded. I look at that and I'm like, what is its purpose for inclusion? I'm not offended. It's not that I don't like it's again, very funny if Ween or Zappa or somebody, if he had a point in all of this, that's great. But this feels like something he like went on tour in Australia and came back and was like, man, it's like the Family Guy, I put butter on a Pop-Tart song. Like
it's really freaking good.
Yeah. You described a thing and then said you described it that way. Like, that's not a song. So I just think about like what it must have been like laying this thing out, because that's really the only like clunker where I go, what the fuck were you doing? And then like, there are other like dips hereafter. A Tomcat and a Dandy is a weird song, but it's not a bad song.
Yeah.
But I just look at like placement on the album. Why do you end with like Dirty Out Trill? It's not, it just feels like in mapping this out together, something went awry. Rick Rubin and Tyler Childers, it didn't come together. I don't know what it is. I can't figure it out.
I think it's just that it was just a swing and a miss, and I think it's more like you were saying. I think it's a lot more on Rick Rubin than it is on Tyler Childers.
I mean, I want to try to steer back in the positive here a little bit too, as much as I was leading the war against koalas and Australians. Like Eating Big Time right off the top. That's the first song on the album. You're like, whoa, okay, all right, yeah, okay. And then Cutting Teeth, he just like goes right back into like more country-esque slide guitars going. You're like, yeah, we're cooking. And then you like keep going. Onita's amazing. I would say maybe end the album with that song.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I think it would have been a very good album ender.
And the thing is, Eating Big Time, to just quickly, like, Eating Big Time sets an expectation for this album, sets the tone in a big way. When that song popped, I went, oh, fuck. I did the little, like, Always Sunny, like, I just bit my thumbnail and went, you son of a bitch, you did it. I was ready. I'm like, we're getting a rocked up Tyler Childers album. I can't wait. And then it did, like Tanner said, it went more in that like conventional country direction. And I was like, yep, it's fucking great. And then we started getting into the weeds, and it was a strange experience from there on.
I feel like it would be remiss if we didn't mention this line in Getting to the Bottom. I wonder if it's hotter than the devil's dick on fire in a wool sock that is soaked, completely doused in kerosene instead of blaze, the way it's here right now. The first time I heard that, I went, whoa.
Yeah.
Start the song over.
Fucking great.
I gotta start this thing over. Holy shit.
See, that's the kind of songwriting. So I know you both mentioned you didn't like Tirthayatra, but I thought that was some of his most clever songwriting that he's done in a while. And when he talks about where in the first verse, I'd go to Kurukshetra, I couldn't even tell you if I am or not pronouncing it right, but coming from a cousin loving clubfoot something something backward searcher, I would hope that you'd admire the try. Like that was what the first time I heard that, and you can just hear the like smirk in his voice as he's singing that. It hit for me. That song hits for me.
I mean, I didn't hate that song either. I was just saying, like, after Down Under, it starts to kind of go, down under. There's great turn of phrases all over that, and I mean, I like it that, like, I think on Instagram I saw some targeted thing, and it was just the Beatles cameo from Walk Hard.
Yeah.
I just watched it like 5 times in a row.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, it's so good. The spoof is so good. And then I listened to this after. I was like, he's spoofing the spoof. He's spoofing them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we, inside baseball for the listeners, we still have a Brian Wilson episode to go. And we'll get into that. We'll get into the album Friends. Maybe there's a song on there we didn't put on the playlist for Jeff called Transcendental Meditation. So I mean,
and Annalie the healer, because she lives on the Himalayan mountainside of the Rishikesh, Jeff. That's where Annalie lives.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, this all comes back to the Narada, the Dharma.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say in mind of the fact that we do have a whole nother episode to get to this evening. We're still cooking, and we just got through the appetizer, folks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say it, that this album, even my criticisms, could not stop it from being a buy it, because I already did. I already bought it. I pre-ordered it. It showed up yesterday.
Well, fuck.
I mean, I would say that it's physically it's a buy it for me, because I did pre-order it as well. So I can't in good conscience say don't buy it. But I mean, hopefully, track A, side A ends with track 7, and then I can just flip it to track B, just listen to Jeff's song over and over again, so I can love it. But I will not be listening to Down Under if I have a chance. But yeah, buy it. It's good. The stuff that's good is like really, 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 really good. And I think the main bummer is that it's not all really, 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 really good, because they do it for a while and they're all in a row. So like you get a false sense of security, kind of. You're like, whoa, the whole album's gonna be like this. But again, buy it and support the man. Tyler is a very good dude. He's good people, so support the guy.
Stream it. Stream it. Earmark which ones are your favorites. Carry those over and listen to those. Leave what you don't need. It'll be a little bit different for everybody, but this is that kind of album. Find your favorites, find the good ones. So stream it. Take only what you need. The stuff that I liked, I really, really liked. There were great songs on here that were executed well. There were great songs on here that got buried in weird decision making. And then, of course, there's the Koala Chlamydia song. God bless these United States of America. So, you know, it will be a different experience for people, but stream it and find out. Stream it and find out. And this for me is the first Childers where I'm like, this is a grab bag one. This isn't one that I think I'm going to put on and listen to all the way through. This is playlist material. So, and that's fine. Take the good. It's quality, not quantity, right?
Well, Alex, is there any place that I'm sure we're going to get some disagreement about this episode? So is there any place that people can make sure that they voice those opinions?
Well, you know what, Jeff? I hear that talking about Down Under, I hear that the Australians, they love themselves.
You stepped in it.
They love themselves some John Farnham, some Farnsey. Don't call him Johnny. They love John Farnham. And they make up, quite frankly, the majority of our subscribers, I do believe. And they've turned us on to all kinds of wonderful, interesting Australian music and shared John Farnham with us and shared King Giz with us. And unfortunately, now we have to share the Koala Chlamydia song with them. And where is the marketplace where this transaction will be taking place? Well, I'll tell you. I'll go right ahead and just like rip the Band-Aid off. There's no mystery anymore. Folks, I'm making it as easy as I can for you. YouTube.com/C/out on that line. You will find so many videos, so varied in theme and content, so vast, so mystical. You'll find our old singles episodes. We do weird one-off stuff on the record, which was a pilot program that Tanner helped develop, where we really focus in on an artist and an album and a lore and a history and a people. You have the podcast where we do what you just heard, where we take albums and we discuss them, we dissect them, we review the latest and greatest and sometimes stinkiest stuff that is out there and on display. And of course, we do reaction videos. And when I say that, I mean, neither of us has done one in a long time. We probably should fix that. But we do them. And oh boy, do we do them at youtube.com/C/out on that line. Folks, don't believe the florist when he tells you that the roses are free. But believe me when I tell you that your life can get better and you can have it all if you subscribe today. youtube.com/C/out on that line.
Couldn't have said it any better, folks. Until next time.